With Straightsmile Solutions, straightsmilesolutions.com. Let's talk one more time about pulling out baby teeth. Today we're going to specifically focus on those baby E's or your E's. I call these E's. What do you guys call them? You guys call them A, J, K, and T. I call them E's. Some people might call them 5, 5, 6, 5, etc., 7, 5, 8, 5. All the same thing. We're talking about baby second molars, okay? Baby second molars, little baby second molars, the one that come in when you're 2 years old. We're talking about those teeth right here. How do you know if you need to pull? Now, I'm not talking about ankylosed ones. Now, I've got a lot of other content on ankylosis, ankylosed teeth, agenesis of premolars, etc. You can go into my YouTube channel. You can put in the keyword ankylosis, agenesis, and all that content should come up. I'm talking about ones that are perfectly fine, not ankylosed. Everything in terms of the development of the succedaneous premolars is within normal limits. How do you know if you need to pull them out to help ortho treatment or keep them in to help ortho treatment? So generally my general opinion is leave them alone. Let things happen naturally. Of course, we're going to keep monitoring, because if and when we get to the point where these roots are more than 2/3 developed and getting closer to apexification of that tooth, well, then that's a problem if this tooth is still in, especially if it's not loose. Sometimes they just get wedged in there. And then if this tooth is about to finish developing and apexify, well, then you could possibly have some damage. So obviously, keep an eye on it. Use your regular general dental skills. Take your x-ray every 6 months. Keep your eye on the apex. Keep your eye on the adjacent teeth, the adjacent roots. Keep your eye on the roots as they resorb. Sometimes these suckers, if this is angulated, sometimes they only resorb one root and one is really long. That's going to be a problem because they're not going to get that out. And if they try to wiggle it, they're going to crack it, which turns into a much bigger problem. Now you can see over here. So for example, in this situation, I'm totally fine waiting. Certainly if mom's like, can you hurry up and get these out? I'd want to know why. It doesn't necessarily make your ortho go any. Well, the only reason is if your tooth is about to apexify, undergo apexification, then it might lose its eruptive force potentially. And then sometimes you have to go in and get it with a chain and braces and all that. So if we're getting close to this thing, apexificating, I'm not even saying the right word today, apexification, I'm making all kinds of words. You can tell I'm not an endodontist. When the apex closes, if we're at that point, well, then we better hurry up and get that sucker out. But if we're not, well, I can go either way. You can pull it, especially if it's not loose, or if the patient is some patients just don't like to wiggle their teeth. In that case, let's hurry this up a little bit, I do have a video about candy, and I believe, goodness, what is the name of this video? While I talk to you, I'm gonna go into my YouTube on my other channel and look up the name of the video I want you to watch. But I do have a video talking about, it's a little old school, but talking about how you can use really sticky taffies to try to get these teeth out. So let's see if I look up candy, if it comes up. Yep. Okay, so the keyword is retained baby teeth or just baby candy. Baby candy? Retained baby teeth using candy to manage, how to manage in a 7 to 9 year old. Listen, I'm telling you, the sticky sugar daddy trick works. You give them 2 to 3 weeks. You give them a couple of candies. You just give them one if you want, and just tell mom she can buy more. These can be a little tricky to find, the sugar daddies. They gotta be sugar daddies, not sugar babies. And they gotta bite down and pull. That's the key. They gotta do it right. Cannot suck it, or this defeats the whole purpose. You gotta bite and pull and bite. And that's the only reason you're gonna get this candy is if you do it properly. Otherwise, no deal. So this candy eating challenge has to be done in front of the parents. If they're not doing it properly, then the candy goes bye-bye. So that is probably the funnest thing I've ever done. I've done this with my own kids as well. Because they get kind of into it. It just takes away the battle. And you just give them a challenge. Here, you get a couple pieces of candy. You have to do it in front of me. When you're ready to work on your challenge, you let me know. I'm going to watch you eat it. You got to eat it properly. Bite and pull on the tooth. And obviously, you got to do this before the braces go on or attachments because they're going to break all that stuff off. This is done before you start ortho just to speed it up if you want to just eliminate that pulling thing. Now, remember, in some situations, if the patient is a little bit class 2 or a little bit class 3, you might want to have anchorage in there. So see my videos on, I think I have one on TPA. Let me look it up, or it might be Nance. Let me look it up. I'm gonna look up Nance. Yes, there is a video on the top 4 uses of a Nance or a TPA appliance in orthodontics. That's for your class 2 patients where you'd wanna have anchorage. And then a lingual arch would be what you wanna do for your class 3 anchorage. So you can go to LLHA, and I have a lot of videos about using modified lingual arches for class 3 improvement and stuff like that. So sometimes if they are a little class 2 or class 3, you're going to want to have anchorage in there if you're going to pull that tooth out. It's going to help to preserve your e-space and to correct that issues later. That obviously that's only very, very minor cases. If it's a severe case, that's not going to do much. It's going to help, but it's not going to fix the problem. And of course, if there's growth, it is not going to be great either. But in any case, hopefully that helps you decide what you want to do. Don't pull teeth before the tooth is more than 2/3 developed. Even half to 2/3 is a little iffy, and definitely don't be pulling them before. All right, thanks so much, unless there's damage happening to another tooth. Thanks.